Hi, my name is Dr. Shajara Durar and I am part of University of Sunderland, UK. Today I will be talking about the artificial intelligence, its role in terms of ethics, safety, and the societal impact. Thank you. Although artificial intelligence has been in the surrounding and has been changing our lives continuously from past few years, but in recent few years it has become more visible, and we have started looking at the revolution that has been brought by the AI in our lives, no matter what sector and what part of life it is, it's creating a huge impact. So artificial intelligence is transforming at times positively, sometimes could be negative influence, but most of the times when we look at it from the point of view of the positivity that could be embedded in every system that we are using, and that is having a positive impact in terms of how AI is creating ease in our life, and whether it is about understanding the ethical implications, security challenges, and societal impact. It has become critically important for every professional and the policymakers to have better understanding of that to create better impact on day-to-day life. So, before we start looking into the details, it's better for us to understand what is artificial intelligence. In fact, what is AI? So, it's just simply computer systems which are designed to simulate human intelligence, including learning from experience, reasoning through complex problems, and making informed decisions. So the purpose of that is to facilitate all the processes that have been mentioned. What are the core capabilities associated with it? AI encompasses patterns recognition, natural language processing, predictive analytics, and autonomous decision making across diverse applications. And some of the real world examples could be chatbots providing customer service, recommendation engines, personalizing content, facial recognition securing devices, the authentication methods, the diagnostic tools, assisting physicians and doctors, and so on. And so, if you look into different professions, you can see almost every profession is now relying on that. So, when we look into any other departments in our life and any other technological advancements, we have seen continuous development and growth in those areas. Same is true to the AI development as well. So, what is the current state of AI? If you look into healthcare and education, you will realize that AI assists in diagnosis, personalized treatment plans, adaptive learning platforms. Even if someone is studying, we can look into the student performance analytics, and we can check how many hours they have been spending on their system to learn and improve themselves. If we look into business and government, we can see deployed for the systems have been deployed for fraud detection, process automation, authentication, policy analysis, and public service optimization, etc. As far as technology drivers are concerned, these are now powered by massive data sets. Advanced machine learning, we often talk about research these days in LLMs and the logarithms and exponentially growing computational capabilities that help us in looking into the matter in depth and generating further details whenever it's required. So while AI performance continues to improve dramatically, the associated risk from privacy breaches to uh, associated biases are escalating in parallel, demanding thoughtful governance, because anything that is not being looked after thoroughly, it can result in in drastic results, which maybe those consequences later on are not going to be controlled easily if not addressed in the beginning. So as we were talking about different type of frauds or scams that might arise from unmonitored or poorly monitored AI systems, we now can talk about why AI ethics matters now. Because once we start looking into careful processing of the data and the resources that are available through AI, we are going to behave ethical in terms of managing whatever options are available to us. So the stakes are high if these are not being done. AI systems make decisions that directly affect human lives, from loan approvals to medical diagnosis, criminal sentencing. When these systems fail or behave unfairly, the consequences can be devastating, because initially, if you didn't manage to detect and didn't manage to set clear policies, later on it will be difficult for you once those are being breached and many people have been hurt by the process negatively. So, direct human impact could be seen. AI decisions influence employment, healthcare access, financial opportunities, and fundamental rights. Sometimes I have heard these days that now, when the employment is people related to employment, when people submit the applications, instead of people looking into those applications being submitted, these days this process is being done with the help of AI, which is going to then detect which applications are addressing and talking about the main aspects that have been requested in the applications. Amplified consequences: errors in AI systems can affect millions simultaneously, spreading bias and harm at a bigger scale. Preserving values: ensuring AI respects human dignity, fairness, and justice remains our collective responsibility. As we are talking about ethics in AI, and if not being careful, it is going to harm. So, what is AI ethics? Moral principles that needs to be monitored, a framework of ethical guidelines governing how AI systems should be designed, developed, and deployed responsibly. So in different countries, the rules and regulations could be different. These could be sector-wide, these could be nationally addressed, and these are ongoing processes which are continuously developing as the growth of the AI dominating the systems. Boundaries and standards: establishing clear rules about what AI systems should and shouldn't do, protecting individuals and society from potential harms. And then human accountability. Obviously, no matter what system it is, human beings are using that. So, how human beings are going to be accountable for this? Emphasizing that humans, not machines, bear ultimate responsibility for AI actions and outcomes. So, we have to be mindful that ultimately it's us who are using it. So, we have to be mindful in terms of for what purpose we are relying on it. Core principles of AI ethics. First thing is fairness. AI systems must treat all individuals and groups equitably, without favoring and disadvantaging based on protected characteristics. And in advanced countries, almost every country is having clearly stated characteristics that can't be judged or can't be questioned at any level, whether it's during employment or at any other level. Privacy, personal data must be collected, stored, and used with consent, security, and respect for individual autonomy. And that's why now the rules are way different as compared to past. You are having right to access data wherever it is related to you available, and you can request that to be removed whenever you want to, unless and until that is not breaching the national protective measures. Transparency, organizations should be open about when and how AI is used, enabling informed understanding and appropriate oversight. We have mentioned earlier that excess of everything is bad, so we have to be mindful how to use it. So, for example, within the institutions, the students are often given tasks where they specifically have to understand how they can use AI and how they can rely on that. But then during the assessments, etc., they are not allowed to use that. Non-discrimination, AI systems must actively prevent bias and discrimination, ensure equal treatment regardless of race, gender, age, or other um, uh, protected characteristics. Accountability, clear responsibility must exist for AI outcomes with mechanisms to address errors, biases, and unintended consequences. Because if accountability is not being allocated, then who we are going to question later if something goes wrong. So that clarity is necessary to be developed from the beginning. The problem of logarithmic bias. So if we are relying on the AI to generate different data sets and the sources of information to be utilized through that, then we have to be mindful that there could be some certain biases associated with that. So, for example, the data could be imbalanced. It could be the model could be biased. It's the feedback loop could be missing or might be having some mistakes associated with that, which needs to be monitored. And discriminatory outcomes could emerge if these initial uh, steps are not being taken to avoid the risk of having any bias in that. Because when AI systems learn from historical data that is available, that reflects societal biases, they perpetuate and even amplify those inequalities in their decisions. As a result, the error which initially, or the issue which initially existed, is going to continue to exist even in the later on made decisions. How biases emerges. So how bias emerge? Training data sets over represent some groups while underrepresenting others. So if it had been a mistake where some of the information was enhanced because of the miscalculation, then it's going to continue in the same way. Historical prejudices embedded in data get encoded into algorithms. So obviously, as we initially talked about the accountability, human beings are using that. So if their personal biases are associated in making initial decisions and creating codes, then they are going to continue to go on further. Feedback loops reinforce initial biases over time. Real-world impact. Biased AI systems have been documented in hiring tools that discriminate by gender, credit scoring models that disadvantage minorities, and facial recognition that fails or darkens skin tones. So it may result in creating difficulties in making just decisions. While dealing with AI responsibly at every level, we have to be mindful in terms of privacy and data protection because certain challenges might arise. For example, massive data requirements when we are dealing with those AI systems require enormous amount of personal data to train effectively, from behavioral patterns to sensitive attributes. And the another associated risk could be vulnerability. Large data sets become target for breaches, unauthorized access, and malicious exploitation of personal information. And that's why sometimes you might have seen that the relevant organizations are going to contact that we have noticed certain breach of data happened and our sources were attacked or hacked. So your details might be at risk. We are trying to reduce these errors and to make system more secure. But these are normal things and these happen around the world, affecting many people. So common, unfortunately. Protection imperative, so robust data governance, encryption, anonymization, and consent mechanisms are essential to safeguard individual privacy rights. So these are all the efforts that are being made to make system more secure. You often receive, we all also receive in the trainings and also the messages from our organizations stating how to stay secure, how to avoid phishing emails, and how we should be sensible in terms of not clicking the link that might put our security at risk. So we have to be mindful. These are not just the responsibilities of the system, these are our individual responsibilities or as well. So be mindful. When we look into the implication of AI use, then we have to be mindful about transparency and explainability. Because, for example, if we look into the black box problem, many advanced AI systems, particularly deep neural network systems, there it's possible that which operates as black box, where even their creators can't fully explain how specific decisions are made or being affected. So, this may create serious challenges for trust, accountability, and error corrections. And if we are talking about why explainability matters, then we have to think about why not this can be provided to the people, because they are affecting their lives. So users deserve to understand decisions that affect their lives. Regulators need explanations to ensure compliance and fairness. Developers further require interpretability to debug and improve systems. Society needs transparency to maintain democratic oversight. So, the future of responsible AI depends on our ability to make intelligent systems more interpretable, more understanding, and ensuring that human beings remain in control and can meaningfully understand and challenge automated decisions. Further talking about transparency and explainability in AI, understanding how artificial intelligence makes decisions is critical and crucial for building trust and ensuring accountability in AI systems. Otherwise, if that's not being explained, that's not being understood, then it is going to create difficulty for the people who will be affected by that usage. Looking into why AI decisions remain mysterious. So many AI systems operate as black boxes, as mentioned earlier, where the decision-making process remains slightly unclear and vague even to their creators. Complex neural networks process information through millions of calculations, making it difficult to trace how specific outputs are generated. So this lack of transparency results in huge challenges in high-stake domains like healthcare, criminal justice, and financial services, where understanding the reasoning behind decision is essential. And if it's not going to be, for example, if we are talking about the criminal justice, if the information is vague, not clear, then it means the justice could be at stake and it may harm hugely. Same applies to health sector and to the financial sector as well. So we have to be mindful about why it is important for AI decisions to be clear and not being mysterious. Understanding AI safety for everyone, it is important, but why it is important, how it works, alignment with goals, ensuring AI systems operate according to intended purposes and human values, error prevention, identifying and mitigating potential failures before they cause harm, and control and security, maintaining robust oversight and protection against malicious use. So, AI safety encompasses and comprehensive effort to develop systems that are reliable, controllable, and beneficial while minimizing unintended consequences. It plays important role in providing safety through AI. Dealing with different things and different professions and different occupations within daily life, the level of the harm that the misuse of AI can cause could be different. So when AI errors might have fatal consequences, these could be some of the examples could be in critical domains like healthcare and autonomous systems. AI mistakes can result in life or death situations. Misdiagnosis from a medical AI could delay proper treatments. Similarly, in terms of the high stake applications demand rigorous testing protocols such as the driverless cars, which we are about to have, extensive validation and fail-safe mechanisms to prevent catastrophic outcomes. Because if the information being fed to the system is going to be faulty, then the losses are going to be huge. Keeping human in the loop, the safety net, it's very important, and we already have a word about it that human beings are responsible for and they are accountable for appropriate use of AI because they have created and they are using it for several purposes. So it's not possible to blame AI for the actions and human beings not being accountable for that. So it's important to have supervised decision making. AI provides recommendations while the final decisions should be made by the human beings who are using it. Then active oversight, continuous monitoring, ensure AI operates within accountable parameters. And error mitigation, human expertise catches mistakes before they result in harmful outcomes so that if there is any issue, any minor mistake from the beginning, it can be picked up and addressed. Otherwise, it will become difficult to address it later on. So, right time, right decisions are important. Regulation and standards for AI to use at different levels, global regulatory landscape. So, what is the situation globally? Governments worldwide are establishing frameworks to govern AI development and deployment, although this is still controversial because not one rule can be applied everywhere because of the requirements of different sectors and different places in the world. These regulations address data privacy, algorithmic transparency, and ethical technology use. Legal standards provide crucial certainty for organizations while protecting public interest. The European Union's AI Act and sector-specific guidelines in healthcare and finance exemplify this evolving regulatory environment. Key regulatory areas, data protection and privacy, algorithmic accountability, bias and discrimination prevention, safety and testing requirements, transparency obligations. So these are the must areas that every government is going to be concerned about for no matter what department, what sector AI has been used into. AI is not just used for the business purposes or different sector, it is something which is being used by everyone and it is creating huge social impact. Workplace transformation. So, automation reshapes job markets, eliminating some roles while creating new technology driven opportunities. Social interactions, AI mediates how people communicate from relationships and engage with communities. Dual edge potential, technology offers tremendous benefits, but also introduces significant societal risks requiring careful management. And that's why we had been talking about why it is important to have ethical limits while we are using AI in different fields, in different sectors for different purposes. The digital divide and AI access. If you look at this graph, you can see that the urban areas are using more AI as compared to the rural communities, while the high income areas and people are relying more and using more AI as compared to the low income people and areas. This creates a gap. How to bridge this gap? Unequal access to AI technology threatens to widen existing social and economic disparities. Without intervention, those already disadvantaged may fall further behind as AI transform industries and opportunities. So it is important to be aware that if these facilities are available, these should be provided equally to every area. Otherwise, it will just simply increase the gap rather than bridging the gap. AI and social ethics navigating the future. So, some of the moral values that are associated with this are going to be AI systems influence societal ethics and reshape cultural norms around privacy, fairness, and human dignity. Education balance could be created with the help of that in learning environments. AI enables personalization, but risks over dependence. Human educators remain essential because if they are not available, then critical thinking might not be developed further. Communication patterns, technology mediates human interaction, altering how people connect, empathize, and build relationships. Empathy is something which can't be done by AI, so we are relying on the human beings for that. So communication can't be fully done without the human beings. Dehumanization risk, over reliance on automated systems may diminish human agency, empathy, and authentic interpersonal connection. And some of the, like in some of the countries, the hotels etc are now being managed by the robots, and at that time it is the high-end hotels are still relying on the human beings for that because their guests prefer to have the human interaction, human touch available there. So they want to talk to people rather than the robots at the reception, etc. So still it is something which is developing, but we can see that human presence is important regardless of wherever you go. Responsible AI development and governance. Navigating the intersection of innovation, ethics, and societal impact in the age of artificial intelligence is very important because if that is being ignored, then it means that there are chances that the socio-economic and socio-cultural development of the people will be impacted negatively because they won't be able to get the benefit in the absence of responsible AI, and then it might result in increasing associated risks rather than increasing the benefits associated with that. It is not just the responsibility of the users to be mindful when they are relying on AI usage. It is also the developers' accountability when they are creating AI associated systems. At that time, they have to be responsible also. Core principles to be followed by them should be such as AI developers must prioritize responsible innovation that balances technological advancement with human welfare and ethical standards. Ethical development builds systems aligned with moral principles and societal values that are going to be acceptable to everyone associated with these. Legal compliance ensure adherence to regulations and establish legal frameworks which might vary department to department and country to country or region to region. Human-centered design place human interest and well-being at the forefront of innovation, because ultimately it has to be used by human beings for the benefit of human beings. Society's role can't be ignored in the AI governance. For example, enhancing AI literacy, build public understanding of AI capabilities, limitations, and implications through education and accessible resources. That's why, if you see, there are several free courses available for the people by different universities, different institutions, different even governmental sites are providing free training so that people may understand and can use it responsibly. Use AI wisely, make informed decisions about AI adoption, considering ethical implications and potential consequences in daily applications. Monitor AI development, engage in active oversight of AI systems to ensure responsible use and hold developers accountable for outcomes. So, what is the way forward? The core is that AI should serve humanity, not replace it. And because if it is being created to assist human beings, then we have to be mindful that it is for the benefit of human beings, not to replace them. Tremendous potential. AI offers transformative benefits across healthcare, education, sustainability, law, and human advancement. Uh, what are the critical safeguarding importance associated with that? Ethics and security must remain paramount as we develop and deploy AI systems. Managed impact, social consequences require thoughtful governance, stakeholder collaboration, and proactive management. With the help of these combined efforts, we can use AI for the benefit of humanity rather than putting humanity at risk. Thanks a lot for listening to me and giving me the opportunity to join you. Please accept my apologies, heartiest apologies for being unable to join you, because right now, when you will be listening to that, it's the midnight in the UK, and I won't be able to join you in person. Otherwise, I wanted to be there. But I hope that my thoughts will help you in understanding what I wanted to convey in terms of the appropriate AI usage for every sector within the society. Thank you.